Alright, here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we have the development bog of the new ships that's in testing for version 13. Wow, version 13. Can you believe it? So, version 13, very interesting, I have to say. So, I think Christmas has come early for us Australians and New Zealanders and India and Canada, all the Commonwealth countries. Well, hey Turnfolk. So let's go ahead and start talking about this. So first and foremost, the new Commonwealth Cruiser branch will be featuring ships from Australia, India, New Zealand, Canada. That's great news for us. And at low and mid tiers, these ships will be light cruisers armed with 152mm guns. And begin at the tier 8, will receive a heavier armament of 203mm guns. So this is actually going to be pretty good. Let's see. That's going to be interesting though, just by looking at it. The main battery will be capable of dishing out a good amount of damage per minute, but in return will have somewhat poor shell ballistics and slow turret traverse. It's always a pro and a con, you know, these things in this game, but it's actually not too bad. Starting from tier 3, they will additionally be armed with torpedoes. Oh, torpedo memes. Okay. They will additionally be armed with torpedoes. That's awesome, man. At tier 7 though, these torpedoes will become longer range. Wow, we definitely like it long out there. No pun intended. But long torpedo ranged. Let's see. It may even be launched. The airstrikes of these ships will have improved features, longer range, additional charges, and additional splash radius for incapacitating modules. Interesting. Good choice. Hey, Cosmos. How would I do with somewhat less damage in return? That's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a con there. Let's see. The improved features of this line will be balanced out, generally weak armor, low health points, tools, and weak AA defenses. Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. As in standard for most cruisers, the line will feature acoustic search. Fair enough. Paintball, available in its own slot at tier 4, and sharing a slot with defensive AA or at later tiers. Okay. Okay. Starting at tier 5, the signature Commonwealth crawling smoke generator, okay, will also be available in its own slot. Hey, that's awesome. That's a win. That's a win. With its long action time allowing slow movement while remaining concealed. That's actually pretty nice. Starting at tier 8, the ships will be equipped with a repair party of standard characteristics. That's cool. In battle, these characteristics will come together in a mid to close range playstyle. The crawling smoke generator, coupled with the excellent concealment, will allow these ships to take aggressive positions and make best use of the good damage per minute, while also be able to conduct successful retreats when in danger. I like the sound of this. I really do like the sound of this a lot. Captains will want to avoid exchanging fire in open waters, however, well, that's no brainer there. Due to overall low survivability in these cases and the low The long-range torpedoes may be employed while repositioning. Well, okay. The Brisbane is a good example of this. Commonwealth Cruiser LTD. Tier 1? Okay. This is actually pretty cool. This is actually very good. I mean, like, I will link this in chat for you right now so that you can actually check it out for yourselves. That is actually very nice. It's a Black Swan class slopes built in Great Britain, specifically for the Royal Indian Navy during the Second World War. She took an active part of the military operations in the Mediterranean and in the waters of the Indian Ocean. After India gained independence, the ship became part of the Indian Navy, in which she served until the end of the 1970s. The Tier 2 is the Commonwealth Cruiser Port Jackson. Port Jackson is one of the town class cruisers built in the 1910s in several different series in Great Britain and Australia. Conceived to aid in trade protection. Hang on a minute. No, that... Okay, hang on. I'm getting ahead of here. Tier 3. Caradoc. Hey, Matado. Let's see. So the Caradoc is a Callian class cruiser that took part in the First World War and several other conflicts in the 1920s. She served at the North American and West Indian stations during the early stages of World War II. Caradoc was based in Canada, participating in Allied operations in North Atlantic.
FBI, open up!
Hey, it's me, Goku!
Okay.
Hey, Matado, thank you for the Prime sub as well too for 6 months.
Oh, it's good to be back.
Okay. Even though the cruisers actually serve under the British flag, Caradoc will repeat the Royal Canadian Navy in game due to her service record. That's pretty cool. Hey, Peter. You'd rather use Dublin instead of Port Jackson? Yeah, okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. I have a feeling there's something behind this. Tier 4 is the Dundin or Jundin. I call it Dundin. Anyway, Dundee is a Danae class light cruiser that served from 1924 to 1937. He served in New Zealand, the division of the Royal Navy, which was the predecessor of the Royal New Zealand Navy. Who write this stuff, man? I'm trying to figure that out, but that's okay. During World War II, the cruiser took an active part in operations in the Atlantic, capturing several enemy transports. On November 1941, Dundee was sunk by a German submarine. Oh. But there's a lot of characteristics in that. Well, it's version 13 at this stage.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
What's up, Tazzy? Let's see. There's no photo of the Tier 5 Delhi. Achilles, one of the Leander-class cruisers, well, we know a Leander-class cruiser anyway, was commissioned to the Royal Navy in 1933. In 1936, she was attached to the New Zealand Division of the Royal Navy and joined the newly established Royal New Zealand Navy in 1941. During the Second World War II, the cruiser played a crucial role in the Battle of the River Plate and took part in the Pacific Campaign. In 1948, Achilles transferred to the Indian Navy and was renamed Delhi. And INS Delhi, the cruiser, served for an additional 30 years. Bloody hell. Hi, Ivy. UA, how you going? Yes! Hobart!
Oh, it's good to be back.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! About bloody time. Okay. Hobart. About damn time. Tier 6. HMS Hobart was commissioned to the Royal Australian Navy in 1939 as one of the improved Leander-class cruisers. During the Second World War, she took part in the Mediterranean campaign and in operations in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. HMS Hobart was also present in the signing ceremony of the and surrendered to Tokyo Bay. Very good. Commonwealth Cruiser Uganda, Tier 7. We don't have a photo of her, but the Uganda, which entered Royal Navy service at the height of the Second World War, belonged to the second group of the Fiji class cruisers. Oh, good old Fiji class. And the ship took an active part in the landings in Sicily and Italy. In the fall of 1944, the cruiser was transferred to the Royal Canadian Navy and subsequently operated in the Pacific Ocean. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Commonwealth Cruiser Auckland, Tier 8. So, the Commonwealth Cruiser Auckland, like the British Albemarle, is based on one of the heavy cruiser designs developed in Great Britain in 1940. This variant possessed 9 203mm guns as the main battery, placed in 3 gun turrets in a linear elevated configuration, which is pretty evident right there. And the ship was named after the largest city in New Zealand and represents the Royal New Zealand Navy. Tier 9 Encounter, Commonwealth Cruiser Encounter. Interesting name. Encounter. Okay, what's the story about this? So the Encounter is a fast ship on a primarily designed for a cruiser with 203mm guns, artillery, intended for construction at an Australian shipyard in the 1920s. In terms of silhouette and layout, the project partly replicates the British Hawkins class cruisers. Cool. The cruiser inherited its name from one of the first ships of the Royal Australian Navy. A protected cruiser was launched back in 1902 and joined the newly formed Royal Australian Navy in 1912. And the Tier 10 service. Cerberus. I love Ivan. Service is an enlarged seaworthy version of the British County class cruisers with more powerful armament. The ship is named after one of the pioneers of the Australian Navy, Her Majesty's Victorian Ship Service, built in the late 1860s. Okay. For the naval forces of the colony of Victoria, she served in Australian waters for more than half a century. Wow. Yeah, okay. We've got a German cruiser though. Here we go. German cruiser, Wiesbaden. Wiesbaden. Baden. Wiesbaden? Tier 8. It's a destroyer. Bloody hell. Oh, it's a cruiser. The hell? That's a cruiser? Wow, okay, I got that shit wrong. That's a cruiser. Okay, tier 8 cruiser. Hypothetical design for a light cruiser whose main armament is composed of dual-purpose 128mm guns developed for the Kriegsmarine in the 1940s. The ship's name follows the German Navy's tradition of naming cruisers in honor of members of the same type sunk in combat. Okay. This original small cruiser. Small. Did you see that, the way that you put the word small in parentheses? Small. Wiesbaden? It looks like a Dido. Or Atlanta. Or San Diego? I don't know. It's weird. It's tricky. Named after the capital city of the Grand Duchy of Hesse, lost during the Battle of Jutland on June 1st, 1916. Wiesbaden is armed with 128mm main battery guns, which have high damage per minute but low range. I'm curious about the statistics of the schematics of this warship. Typical German ships, her AP shells will deal high power, while her HE shells featured an improved penetration. Improved penetration? Since when the Germans get improved penetration?
Quit! You son from 1248!
Hey,
You grab
Gunful
your
Roll.
gear, you take a stroll down Washout Lane! Do you get me? Sir, yes, sir! Pathetic!
Yeah, that got me bugged. But the ship's got excellent concealment, apparently. And the ship is also armed with a total of 12 torpedo tubes. Jesus. 12. Okay. For the consumables, Wiesbaden will be equipped with a smoke generator in its own slot. Cool. Similar to the one found in the German destroyers, as well as a signature German high acoustic search, which will share a slot in defensive AA. Okay. Captain's familiar with the Z-52 line with fleet of home with this ship due to a similar armament. The combination of effective battery and torpedoes will allow for flexibility and gameplay options. Okay. This ship actually sounds pretty good. What's the parameters of this thing? Okay, let's see. 15-kilometer firing range. Yeah. That's bloody good. Okay. The damage on HE is not that much in comparison to AP, but hold on. A reload time is 5 seconds. 180-degree turn time is 10.6 seconds. Dispersion is fair enough. It's pretty typical. Where's the torpedo range? 4x3, 533mm torpedoes. Okay, I see where this is going. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's actually not bad. There's no radar, but only hydroacoustics. Alright. Tier 9 Spanish battleship Victoria. Victoria is a fast battleship, similar in layout and characteristics to Italian ships of the Vittorio Veneto class. Vittorio Veneto. The possibility of building these battleships in Spain was discussed between the governments of the two countries in 1939 and 1940. The implementation of these plans was prevented by growing momentum of the Second World War and the state of the Spanish economy. This battleship was just like two of the line and modern frigate of the Spanish Navy. Carries the name of Victoria in honor of the character that made history of being the first ship to circumnavigate the world. Wow, this is pretty damn full on. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, like, I'm just a bit, bloody hell, man. This is like unreal with all this information that I'm seeing right now. This is just unreal just by seeing it right now. This is bloody phenomenal. Victoria's armed with 9 381mm main battery guns, which will have long range but long reload time. She will also feature a unique mechanic, alternative shells types. At any point in the battle, captains will be able to choose between 2 firing modes, standard and alternative firing mode. Okay, we've been seeing a little bit of this going on in World of Warships. A lot of either between standard and alternative firing mode, to be precise. So standard mode is focused on her shells will deal high damage with high fire chance of HE shells. In return, the shells will have quite poor ballistics, requiring extensive lead time for faster moving targets or targets at long range. And thus, the standard of firing mode is best used either in short range or engagements or against slowly moving ships. This is, hang on, what is it? Tier 9. There's not many slow moving ships at tier 9 to begin with. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. Alternative firing mode, in which the shells will have greatly improved ballistics, allowing for easier leading of fast ships or ships at range. However, this firing mode will have reduced shell damage and reduced fire chance for HE shells compared to the standard firing mode. Captains will want to use this primarily for long-range gunnery or for engaging fast targets. The Royal Australian Navy RAN fleet is made up of 36 commissioned warships and 8 non-commissioned of
I'm Garrus Vicarian, and
June
this
2023.
is now my favorite spot on the
Hey, gang, that's
Citadel.
bang. And the main strength is 8 frigates, 3 destroyers of the Service Combatant Force, 8 Anzac class frigates, and 3 hover class destroyers. Very insightful information there, Ali. Thank you. It's important to note that despite the radical difference in the velocity of shells of different firing modes, the AP penetration of both the standard and alternative shell is similar. This is due to the fact that the alternative shell is significantly lighter in order to achieve higher velocity. Victoria additionally has excellent armor and good concealment for a battleship, but will have low HP and weak AA defense in return. Consumables are represented by a standard repair party and a choice between fighter and spotter in the same slot. At the center of the gameplay lies in the new variation of alternative firing mode. Astute captains will be able to switch between these modes as the situation demands, allowing Victoria to be effective in most combat situations. To make the best use of the ship, aggressive captains may use her good armor and concealment to engage targets at close range, with the standard firing mode to deal with maximum damage. Alright, so the hit points are 64,800. Interesting torque protection is about 38%. Firing range is 21, nearly 21 kilometers, but it's actually 20.7 kilometers. That there, folks, this is very important to understand the difference there. That is a very big difference between single and alternative burst mode in terms of guns.
This son from 1248,
There you go, and
you take a
staging.
stroll down Washout Lane. Do you get me? Sir, yes, sir. Pathetic.
Reload time is 32 seconds. Oof. That can take a while. Earlier. Let's see. Yeah, I can see what they're trying to do. But, wow, okay. That is a very interesting devlog. That is a very interesting devlog, actually, I have to say, folks. Definitely, I would recommend checking it out.